Hi there. I'm so happy. So very happy to be here right now with this video about emotions. You can probably tell by my tone of voice just how excited I am to be speaking to you today. As always, these videos are based on Kory Floyd's interpersonal communication. I'm okay, just give me a minute. You can do this. You can do this, Patrick. You can do this. See what I just did there? Emotion, emoting, but actually a bit more like acting. That's Patrick for you, always performing. Am I right? I'm right. But for serious, welcome to the first of 2 videos all about emotion. In this video, we'll cover the categories and types of emotion. I won't spend a ton of time on this section because, well, it seems kind of obvious to me, but you never know. So the first category of emotions is joyful and affectionate emotions. Those include happiness, love and passion, and liking. Not quite love, just, you know, liking. Let's be real. Did you ever think that you would actually read a whole half page of a textbook that explained liking? Seriously? I mean, it's like liking, right? Anyway, those are our positive and happy emotions. Now let's get some less positive emotions. We have hostile emotions. This includes anger, contempt, disgust, jealousy, and envy. Anger is pretty obvious to me, probably to you. But what about contempt and disgust? Aren't these all kind of like, you know, the same thing? Well, as the book tells us, contempt is what you feel when you feel superior to another person. This is different than anger, which is what you feel when you're perceiving that you've been wronged in some way. And meanwhile, disgust is feeling revulsion, you know, when you're up against something that makes you offended or that is otherwise repellent in some way. One way to describe this would be to say if you blame me for something I didn't do, I might be angry at you. And if I thought you were somehow not as good as me, I might feel contempt for you. Now, if you tried to make me eat cat brains, I would feel disgusted for you. And the cat brains. Ugh. 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 Well, the next 2 hostile emotions are jealousy and envy. But wait, no, those really are the same thing, right? Nope again. Jealousy is what you feel when you are perceiving that a relationship that is important to you is being threatened by another person. But envy is when you have a desire for something that somebody else has. So if you see me talking to your girlfriend or wife or husband or boyfriend and you're all like, whoa, Patrick is trying to steal my partner away, you might be jealous. By the way, I would never try to steal away your partner, I promise. Meanwhile, if you were really admiring my orange chip clip over here, and who wouldn't admire it, then you might be envious of my chip clip. But hey, don't be envious. You want it? Okay, it's yours. Here. All better? Good. Just breathe. Is it okay if I move that for a minute? Okay, thanks. Finally, we have sad and anxious emotions. Those include sadness, depression, grief, fear, and social anxiety. Sadness is pretty easy. It's, you know, being sad. But what's the difference between sadness and depression? Well, depression is actually a medically diagnosed physical illness. It's extreme sadness that just doesn't go away, and it affects so much of a person's life. Unfortunately, depression affects so many people, and we just don't talk about it. But we should, because, you know, it's important to confront the cruddy things that exist. It's also important to use words properly. Now, if you've ever said, or if you're ever sad, try not to say, I'm depressed, unless your sadness is a long and uninterrupted sadness that never goes away. How we use words, as Floyd tells us in chapter 5, is so important. Another sad and anxious emotion is grief, which is what we experience when we process a deep and profound loss. This includes the death of a family member or pet, but it could also be the loss of a relationship, like a major breakup. Fear is another anxious emotion. It's what we experience when we perceive danger. And finally, social anxiety is a kind of fear. It's the fear that exists when we're anxious about other people, whether people like us or not. Whether we're making a good impression. Like depression, social anxiety is a really serious problem for a lot of people. You may not have ever experienced it, but the chances are good that you know somebody who has. Well, it turns out these emotions aren't as simple as I thought. There's a lot going on here. Okay, now that we know about the categories and major types of emotion, take a break. Go grab some Kool-Aid, man, and then watch my next video, all about the nature of emotion. See you there!